is of the essence, the blood running through our core. It's best to not feel sorry when it's over. I will be the greatest that you ever seen before, and I'll say eternal.
Every time we say goodbye, they all see that it's a lie. 'Cause we always give it one last try. Yeah, you've watched me break 1,000 times. Now I'm all alone, 'cause you never show. You say you will, but then you don't. That's how it goes. Don't wanna know. I'm turning off my mind so I get by. I just wanna be happy, happy tonight. Giving a warning, I'ma leave without giving a. But every time we say goodbye, we all know that it's a lie. Now I'm all alone, 'cause you never show. You say you will, but then you don't. That's how it goes. Don't wanna know. I'm turning off my mind so I get by. I just wanna be happy, happy tonight. Happier tonight. Can't be waiting for you in the morning. I'ma leave without giving a warning. I'ma leave without giving a. But every time we say goodbye, we all know that it's a lie. I just wanna be happy.
Voices going through my head. These voices telling me what I said about you, about us.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it is I, Romeo, joined by Theta to bring back the second season of Titan Esports Vanquisher League.
Yeah, as loud as ever. Nothing ever changes here but Romeo. But yes, we are back. We are your Vanquisher. We are the residents here, and we are more than excited to jump back into this. But this draft is flying with Diana taken off the table immediately. Ash being the first ban, though. So, look, I expect her to be a little bit about priority. Yep, the Milio has to go. Renata is still available. Kalista is still available. What do you think? And don't say Jin Zhao.
I think bans have to go. Like, Lilia's got to be. Yeah. But, like, jungle-wise, Xin Zhao has to come out. Xin Zhao's broken right now. Brand's been a pretty strong pick across some leagues that I've seen. Those have been, like... I've definitely seen Nocturne a couple times, but I don't think he's all that good in, like, Emerald leagues that I've seen anyways or played in. Am I what icon is that? Is that Lilia?
Syndra,
is that what's is that the up? Okay, look, I'm not used to it being updated on.
We are watching Master Tier, just so everyone knows. It is Master Tier. Romeo's just not quite there with icons.
No, I'm saying
he struggles with.
Yeah,
and always has. It's anything to do with imagery. He just doesn't get it. Like, he can't ever actually see above diamond. It just never happens for him. But
no, it doesn't.
Nonetheless, Soraka and Karma Enchanter season. I guess GF has something to do with this one because the girlfriend squad is appearing here. But Varus to follow that one up with. I'm liking the idea of Soraka and Varus to start us off, but are they going to try and move that Karma into the mid lane?
There it is!
As you do enjoy
there it
them.
is.
I'm so surprised Nocturne wasn't taken in first rotation. Turning the lights out is still absolutely busted here.
Yeah, but Xin Zhao, he has such a good clear this season. He's able to impact like every phase of the game right now. And also like Dorado Gaming last season here, they won Vanquisher. So clearly, if they're locking in Xin Zhao week 1, it means Xin Zhao's the best champion in the game.
I'm just going to say this out clearly. I was a Dorado hater last season, and I kind of have to sit on my laurels a little bit and say, rip Bozo, Dorado in the mud, don't care. Go next. Glacial, you're my new ones. No, I'm staying with it. I'm staying with it. Dorado, I don't care. You may have been champions last year. This year, it's not your year. You're not going back to back. I'm not allowing it. Caster cursing is straight from the start. But we are going to see the Jin and Corki be banned straight away. So Azir definitely up there. They don't want to be playing that Corki Azir matchup. And come on, Romeo, you weren't a big fan of Dorado either, be honest.
I look, they locked in Xin Zhao, therefore I'm a fan of Barnes. That's what matters here.
Oh,
you know what?
Start of the season, you're with Dorado now just because of that.
I'm saying that I like them more because they've locked in Xin Zhao jungle. It means they did their homework on the casters and knew how to get some favoritism. I want to point out though, does this jungle matchup not just feel last season to you?
Yeah, it feels like Glacial Frost have been a little bit slower maybe to pick up meta here. I think they just want to go comfort. And look, it's the first game. You're just jumping back in. You just want to get back into the groove. Game 2 is when they come alive. That's what we're looking for. But Talia coming through, so they're going heavy team fight, a lot of walls, a lot of CC, and a lot of backpedaling. You want to be able to step back quite a bit with this comp with the Soraka. You want to constantly be healing and just bringing them forward. And when you have a Karma Azir, you kind of want to be kind of distancing your fight, so it doesn't look terrible. Husky Templar going for the Ezreal though. He is getting a buff in a couple of hours, at least my time. He'll be getting that Essence Reaver buff, so he'll be stronger again. So we should be seeing a lot more of him in the future. Looking forward to seeing how he's going to do. It will be Karma bot. It's going to be Aatrox in that top side. But what are they holding here for a counter into Aatrox? And I feel like they're missing Spice.
That is. I like what our top lane matchup is. It's going to be very entertaining to watch. I don't necessarily know that I like Aurelia into the comp that Glacial was building.
I don't mind it if it gets ahead. It's always that idea of, like, we've said this 1,000 times over all the broadcasts we've ever done over Vanquisher. We love you guys, we really do. Everyone that comes here, we absolutely love all of your opinions, so keep them coming in the chat. We do love them, but I like the spice. I like the idea of the Aurelia. It seems good, but it has to get ahead. And that's one thing that we've always had issues with when we're building comps. We'll say, oh, this comp wins every single time, and then one person gets ahead. If that Aurelia gets ahead, who can 1v1 and who can control it in a side lane?
Yeah, and that's fair. It's going to be interesting to see if Jarvan's going to prioritize that top lane. I feel like he kind of has to with these comps, but I think the other thing is Void Grubs have been a big thing. I've seen a lot of junglers want to start at like top side, path down, and then on their first reset, go straight to those Void Grubs.
You agree with it?
It depends on the scenario. I feel like for Jarvan this game, that's not really going to be the best way to play it. I can definitely see maybe Dorado sticking to that like formulaic playing of going for that Void Grips and first back. I've definitely seen some success trying to do a second clear, but the problem is I feel like if one team prioritizes Void Grips, we just see everyone funnel into that pit a lot.
Yeah, I think if they let first Void Grubs go, take first Drake, the level 6s should be coming through, and then they can just wall it off. They can play with that to lead. They can use that to their advantage to help section off whichever one Dorado want to go for. So Glacial, I think they have a lot more tools to control the map in a macro sense. I just think if Dorado pull ahead a little bit and put them into a team fighting position, I think Dorado can just take it straight from there. So I like both sides. I'm just excited to be back.
But I think we are going to go ahead and go right into the game now with the spectator bug. We're able to do things like this, which is pretty cool, Sato. There's no time waiting. Already some 5 points being laid out. It doesn't look like we're going to be getting anything spicy coming in to start off this match. There's a little bit of an E-poke coming out from Manahana? Is that the right pronunciation?
It sounds like something Johnny Bravo would say. No?
I like that. I like that a lot.
Just yeah. Manahana, you know, you can see it. You can see it in your head. Yeah, 100% Johnny Bravo. But let's see. Nice 5-man spread. No one wants to fight. Everyone's keeping it calm. You expect that without that engaged support, without a Nautilus, a Braum, anything like that. Keep it nice and chill. So I guess the main question is season 14. Like, things have been freaky to start. There's been a lot of changes in meta. What's the biggest surprise for you coming back into the meta, coming back to play the game this year? What surprised you the most coming out straight away?
I'm gonna be honest, like I was reading a lot of the patch like going into this season. I thought it was gonna be hard farming meta for jungle. And I'm not saying that's necessarily wrong, but I still find ganking to be a lot easier than I thought it would be with how far back the bushes are. So I was kind of surprised that just still how much of an impact you can have at like the end of some clears. I also think it's interesting seeing like some of the champions that are like at the top right now. Karma being a top champion right now, just in general, has been really interesting. We're seeing things like Ezreal rise back up. I found like how many champions that have just been like sitting at the top that are different than last season has been really interesting.
I think there's always going to be those constants in League. It's like, it's always Jungle Diff and Ezreal. They're just constants in the game. They will always be there. And let's be honest, I always expected Ezreal to come back at the start of the season. He was absolutely just not allowed in, as that's a good trade coming through and good pressure from the Aurelia to start this one off. But I think the biggest change for me is the fact that comps don't really exist anymore. There's no like cookie cutter comp you can just slot in every single time. There's no kind of like distinct meta coming in. There's so many different styles you can go for, which is amazing as a caster, because you don't have to just cast the very same Zeri, Kai'Sa every single game. It's very, very nice to see different things come true. And you have Varus, Aphelios, you have Jhin, you have all this lethality, you also have Caitlyn's, and everything can change in an instant. One pick can completely shake up a draft. And I'm liking what Glacial Frost have done. They've picked some older kind of picks that not a lot of people have been seeing, but they still work really, really well. And I really want to see how this Talia does into this Azir. How much pressure is it going to require from Manahana? And right now, it looks like all the lanes are even enough. There's nothing really standing out, but that early back coming in for the Aurelia going straight towards that call, that's an interesting one.
Yeah, especially in the lane, we're expecting to see a lot of fighting for a callback really early on. I wonder how that's going to impact how aggressive Natalie is going to be. Natalie? Oh, I can't not. There we go.
Just 3 eyes at the end of it, so it's Natty. Ooh, decent trading there, and it does manage to get that wave to actually crash. That's the most important thing there for Noah, to get that one in. Manahana is setting up to get away from that. Does get the ward, but will get respotted, so gets a little bit of vision clearance, but immediately it is taken back. So look, it's a slow start for the junglers. First scuttle will be given over to Jin Zhao on that bot side, which means you have to be careful in that mid lane.
Yeah, Voltic trying to stay towards the back, and it does look like we're going to see a double scuttle here from Xin Zhao. Not super surprised to see that. I do think Xin Zhao is a little bit stronger right now, early without a lot of assistance than Jarvan. How do you feel about Jarvan right now? I think this is the first game I've seen a Jarvan since I've been playing at the start of this season. I have like 50 games in solo queue.
So I've been. Oh, that's gonna be an
Ooh, big
engagement.
engage from Barnes. Barnes gonna go all in here on Monahana. A lot of damage coming out. Jarvan has the 2 longswords, but it's not doing a whole lot. Here comes Azir. The flash is gonna come, but still, the wind comes lightning gonna follow it with an audacious charge, and there's a kill on Barnes for the first blood of Vanquisher. And it's on
First blood
Xin Zhao.
of
Don't forget
Vanquisher.
that.
And it's on Jin Zhao, yeah, of course. How could I ever forget? Oh no. You need to get over this, Jin Zhao, so honest. But no, nonetheless, I'm just happy to see Jarvan coming back. I'm really enjoying. So like I've been playing on a couple of different roles this year, and I'm just trying to get kind of all of them to around your peak. I think I'm going to get them to about Emeraldish, and then I'm going to see how everything feels. So at the moment in the jungle, I've kind of been sitting back on the Sejuani tank kind of style. I want to just get used to the game and just be that utility for the team. And if I ever do stray toward the Jarvan, it's only really if I have a Wombo. If I have the likes of an Orianna, I can beat a ball delivery or a Galio. Along those lines, as long as I can be the utility for my team, I'll play a Jarvan. But it's not something I've been gravitating towards at all. I just feel like there's things that do Jarvan jobs better at the moment. Even a Rek'Sai right now, I'd nearly prefer over a Jarvan. So I'm interested to see how Monahana does do on it. Obviously, it hasn't started off too well. Giving over the first blood, the Void Grubs are gone. There'll be no pressure on the bot side, and going to get spotted out here as well. I think the edge of that just spotted Monahana, so they know exactly where the Jarvan is. There's not much you can do in this position. You just have to reset.
No, it's a little bit rough, but we are seeing a little bit of CS differential coming out from both the jungle and the bot lane on the side of Dorado Gaming right now. Ezreal, despite the karma going up to that Void Grubs, up about 20 CS here. Xin Zhao going to be up about 10. And it does look like after that back, we might start seeing some priority on the Dragon. To kind of lose 3 Void Grubs for nothing here has to feel a little bit rough for Glacial here.
A little bit rough to start off, but look, it's not that much of an issue. But when False is able to walk in like that and get more vision, it just means Monahana has nothing they can do when they're constantly spotted. That safety is always there. And there's no worse feeling as a jungler knowing you are powerless at the moment. But at least they have that vision on the Drake. They'll know if that gets started. They can choose whether or not to fight for that. And we do have the ults available, at least for the mid. And the TP is also available for the top. So they have small advantages that they might be able to work with here. But still, Barnes will pick up third scuttle of the game. So definitely the jungle differential in their favor.
Oh,
Spotted
Wisdom
out.
Lightning going to land. It does look like it just pushes Monahana away. He's going all the way to that top side jungle here, which means Dragon is up for the taking for Dorado if they want to go for it. They have Prio in that bot lane. Azir is ready to move over, but Barnes hasn't committed to the start yet. Kind of bouncing around. It is going to get started here. Jarvan going to be looking for that invade. All he's going to find is a blue buff for that Mountain Dragon.
Yeah, at least something is being done on the other side. Some sort of aggressive
Oh.
play here as it's changed.
Noah scouting it out right away. Going to be able to back up. Maybe not going to be able to get the best lane state in here with Jarvan and Talia both roaming up, but it isn't going to allow anyone to dive his tower. So at the end of the day, it is a dragon for a blue buff.
I'm surprised we haven't seen a dive yet, especially at the tier that we're in. I expected to see the mechanics come out for those dives quite early, and to not see it yet is there to shove.
Oh, huge jump from Azir. Xin Zhao going to go in on Volt, but Volt's going to be able to knock them away. Stay alive under that turret a little bit longer. It doesn't look like we're going to see a dive unless Azir tries to solo it, but Barnes going to be invading Jarvan, while Jarvan going for the top gank on Aatrox here. The slows are going to come out. There's the knockup of the flash trying to get away as Noah under his turret, and it looks like he might be home savior. Aurelia going to dive that turret but be forced to flash out. The cataclysm goes down as it is a 1-for-nothing trade on that tower dive. And a TP back to base. Aurelia going to go as Barnes shows up. They lost both flashes and a TP in that tower dive.
Yeah, they were just on different pages there. There was Nat was jumping out, Monahana was going back in. They were just not communicating there, and it just became so easy for Noah to say, I'm not trapped in here, you're trapped in here with me, and just demolishes that Jarvan, and that just sets that lane up. It was in such a good position. Rally had so much control, and now I'd be screaming if this was solo queue. I'd be like, what was that? It just fell apart for them, and now Barnes Drake cleared, Void Grubs are spawning, has had triple scuttle, has everything available to them on this jungle, and Monahana just won't have an answer for it now, but Talia
Talia's going over. Karma is there to back them up. We got Soraka and Varus rotating. Ezreal's from that bot lane, but Barnes going in on Talia, seeing that Soraka is there, going to be running away here. Manahana on the chase, but here are the reinforcements. The heroes have come along for the side of Dorado Gaming. It is still a 5v4 here, as Ezreal getting a ton of free tower plating. Fall's going to be forced to flash away over the wall. Nobody going to be caught or killed, but it does look like there's 3 Void Grubs going to go over to Glacial. But there's got to be a lot of gold being put onto Ezreal right now for the Void Grubs.
Yeah, they just called up the whole team here. They did not want to give over that sieging power to the side of Dorado, so just all of Glacial Frost had to appear, had to stop this. Manahana had to call in reinforcements immediately, and the whole battalion appeared, and they managed to get themselves back in this position. But look at the goal leads. They're so slowly and incrementally building, but look at the Ezreal difference. Nearly 45 CS up. He's nearly up 1,500 gold. He's going to have nearly a completed item ahead of the Varus, and it's just getting scarier. Like, even a bounty with no kills and no assists is insane, but here we go.
Manahana gonna go for the knockup again. There's the Cataclysm. Noah this time, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, and it looks like the gank is finally gonna work in the top lane as Natai is able to find their first kill of the match, evening up the lane just a little bit here.
Yeah, they even it up. We'll see Aurelia maybe get a decent item off this. Looks like they're going towards that Bork. They're going to be able to control that lane just a little bit better. We do see... Let's go over the builds, because this is something we got to talk about as well. We see a Titanic first for the Jarvan, and then we're going to go... What are we going to go for the Jin Zhao? Is going to be Titanic on the other side as well?
I have to imagine. That's been like the main build. It's been that into the, I forget, the Shiv there? The new Shiv item? Sunder Sky? Or... I'm blanking on the name. Please, dig me out of this one, Satyr.
It's not Sundered Strike, it's Sundered Sky or
Sky?
something?
Is it Sky? Did I get it right?
That's going to be one I have to go look up.
Barnes, though, able to take that grump, but yeah, usually it is
Sundered
the
Sky.
Titanic first, and then into Sundered Sky on the Xin Zhao is what we've normally been seeing. I can't imagine there's going to be much of a change here. It might be Sundered Sky first with the itemization there. I think that is what builds into Sundered Sky. I'm still learning the new items. We're a bit rusty with them. I know a couple, but I'm still trying to learn their build paths.
Yeah, and with the changes, obviously, as well to Divine and stuff, some of the top laners have been kind of nerfed by that item disappearing, as we do see Ezreal now is just going to get a little bit tasty in the mid lane. We'll get some damage down with that new Essence Reaver, see what that can do for them. But look, when it comes to those mid lanes, we're going to see Nashor's Suit first for Azir, which is usually the first one you see. The one thing I'm kind of scared about with Talia is most mid laners now that are very, very strong are great users of the new Malignance item. And we can't really get one of those onto Talia because the ult from Talia does absolutely no damage, as a good trade comes out, and Husky does go quite low taking that last tower shot. But we have a case now where neither of the mid laners can use Malignance, and do you think that might be an issue come later in the game?
I think as long as neither mid laners are able to use it, you should be pretty okay.
There's a Karma.
The Karma could be a bit of an issue. There is a reason Karma is sitting at the top win rate right now across most, like I think on Blitz and U.GG, they are showing top win rates in the Emerald Plus region, which this falls into, right, inside the Masters here. So it could be a little bit of a difficulty, but right now the big difficulty is that Dragon fight where we're going to see Keat try to dash under that turret. It does look like Dragon is going to be a coin flip. It is claimed by Dorado Gaming as Aatrox is coming in to the backlines. Barnes, calm and concise, going to be able to smite that thing away. And now it looks like Glacial starting to fall.
Oh, no.
Aatrox able to kill the bears, but in the backlines is Aurelia. Aatrox and Aurelia are manhandling these fights right now. A double kill to each. The Natai going to go down first. Noah going to find the Jarvan. And now a lonely little Soraka going to be put to bed for the quadra kill. A miss on the Q, but it does not matter as Libre Lady going to go away. Very slowly, really making Noah work for it there.
Yeah, it doesn't get the quadra, it does time out, but do you remember last time, the start of the Vanquisher, that we had a Penta from a Darius in game 1? Is it possible to do that again?
I mean, now that Aatrox is up 5 kills, I wouldn't be super surprised to see a Penta. It's always nice to open up with a Penta. But I think it's interesting that you put it that way, because Top lane, I feel like, has been very hit or miss this season, and I think Noah and Natai right now are making a case on why top lane is still something to be feared in Season 14.
Yeah, Aatrox especially is still very, very strong in this current installment of League of Legends, we'll call it that. And hopefully the patches will start to tune down that top tower just a little bit, but it's very, very hard to balance a lane that's so isolated in just its style and the way it's built. It's stylistically just a solo lane that doesn't require help, but when it does get help, it can just become overwhelming for other lanes. But I think that's the difference between mages and bruisers. Bruisers just spike that much quicker than mages because AP is so much harder to stack, when AD is so much easier to use because you have to land spells for AP, while AD you just kind of have to auto attack and weave a couple of abilities in every now and then. So I think when you can get a top laner this far ahead, it can just spell disaster for your team, as Noah's just contesting the jungler here as well. Does lose the tower. We'll see a little bit of gold go over, and the gold is staying fairly even. It's not as much of a gap as we saw, as that is just unfortunate there from Kitsumi.
Yeah, it was almost a free Natai kill, but Natai going to be able to be a little bit safe. They blow the Azir ult. They lose that bot turret, like you said. It is 2 turrets to 1. There is still almost a 3,000 gold gap. There will be after this tower second. That's pretty big here, well, especially once you get to these high leagues like Masters. But you were saying about the spikes in the top lane. Do you think that's going to be a consistent strategy where we see top laners try to make a big impact early on in the game once they spike? Like in Vanquisher, do you think that's going to be a consistent thing we see across the weeks?
I can't say. I can't tell you what's going to happen next. I think when it comes to Vanquisher, every single time we've tried to predict something, one player says no and just does it completely differently and wins anyway. So I feel like we'll start to see the Vanquisher meta start to develop over the next 2 weeks, and it'll solidify then before we get into those playoffs. But we still have a long way to go, Romeo. It's only week 1. We'll just be excited that we're back.
Oh, trust me, I'm very excited that we're back, and especially with a banger like this. A lot of kills coming out in 16 minutes. 10 kills in 16 minutes is pretty nice to see. I mean, last season, games definitely were a little bit bloody, and it doesn't look like it's going to be too different, as it looks like Manahana and Voltic trying to add to our kill counter, but Noah going to be defending himself here. There's going to be the fullback, a huge Q, and there goes Voltic, and now Jarvan has to get out of there, is going to be able to find their way out. Natai going to go down to the bot river just off camera there. Another kill picked up by Azir. Xin Zhao rocking a nice 115. Great song by Luna segment if anyone's played Call of Duty. I'm hoping anyone understands what I'm talking about.
Hey, everyone knows what you're talking about, but that was just not the time for it.
Someone in chat understands. New Rift Herald, here we go. First,
not gonna hit that.
First Rift, surely it does.
Put it close.
Oh, I hate the new Rift. I hate it. There it goes. Missing the first tower. I mean, if it happens in pro play, it can happen here.
That was the first 20 minutes of Tokyo Drift, Fast and Furious. I'm telling you. Nothing but hitting walls on that one. That was absolutely awful work. I told you, Barnes, too close to the wall. You got to step back a little bit. You have to be patient with... You can't just get into a car and start drifting. You can't. Yeah, it takes practice. It takes time. But they do manage to shut down Noah. They will get bot tower. They will get mid tower. They'll take everything macro-wise. And it's all falling apart here for Glacial. They can't scale fast enough to stay in this one. Too many advantages have went over.
Yeah, it's really tough for Glacial right now. You really just need to hope to find a little bit of throwing on the side of Dorado Gaming, or just any mistake and capitalize on it. There's still those 2 bounties on Ezreal and Azir. Of course, Ezreal's is solely from that massive CS and plate advantage he has right now over Basket of Knives. Husky's in a great position. I think it's safe to say Keat and Noah are both in great positions. The supporting team around them is doing really well. Meanwhile, Natai's been the only one who's been able to show a lot of fight back from Glacial, but it's really hard for them right now just because of how strong Dorado Gaming is at the moment.
Yeah, they're in great positions. There is always that chance that Aurelia does get to that, oh my god, I can 1v9 stage, but even now, they know they can't be stepping forward. Your Basket Knights has to step back, uses the Umu speed. They're going to try and collapse onto False, though, and this could be an interesting one. The wall comes through, but it's not quick enough, and False will make the great escape here, hopefully. Waiting for the knockback, and it misses.
There it is. That is a nice escape from False, and it just shows how strong Karma is at getting away. It was well played, but Karma, it can just go so fast this season, man. I swear, those shields and speed buffs have changed games so quickly. Meanwhile, Ezreal, we didn't really point this out, but I feel like we mentioned Glacial has a lot of walls, but if I'm right, every player but Karma can really get over those walls.
Just a little bit.
It's hard to hold anyone down when everyone's gonna dash away.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that it's been designed that way, but yeah, it is. They have a lot of walls they can cut off key points on the map, but we'll have to see what the Baron is. If they get that Baron, that's that long corridor, maybe there's a chance they can lock them in there.
Yeah, it could definitely be. It could definitely be a look. If there's a way back into that game, it's going to be around that Baron play. They really need to pick something up. They're either going to fight now or at that Dragon in a few minutes. Of course, best soul in League of Legends, Cloud Soul, where Karma gets to zoom even quicker.
We can argue about that later on, but if there's ever a time for them to be fighting, it would have been now, but Jarvan is on the other side of the map. They've already lost the Drake. I don't know why Jarvan is down there. They are looking for them, but Baron taken.
It's just going to be rough now, because now it feels like Dorado Gaming can just kind of walk through mid with no consequences. They're going to send Aatrox to the top lane. And there's no correct way of sending your team here. You could send like 3 or 4 for Noah, kill him, but then the rest of the team storms your base. I don't even know if they win the 5v4 against Dorado Gaming. With a 5,000 gold gap, it'd be a very difficult fight to take, and the Baron minions are sieging this tower on their own at the moment, as that T3 turret is destined to fall in the next wave.
Yeah, this is the part where Dorados get to choke them out. They're starting to split off very well. Their macro sense is there. They never even had to put any pressure on that bot side. They just stayed and farmed. They played it perfectly. They opened the base. It's cracked. Now they have to decide where they want to go next, because they shouldn't be able to end from this point without a massive mistake from the side of a Glacial here. But everything's calm for the moment. Step back, jump the wall, and look,
There's a missed Varus ultimate. Varus not going to be able to land those chains of corruption, and it's not looking great for a fight to break out if you're a Glacial at the moment. That turret, the defending the wave clear is working out well, but as soon as those super minions come into the mid lane, they are going to have a massive problem in their hands. They already kind of do. A lot of poke damage coming out from Ezreal and even Aatrox. That T3 turret on the top lane looking destined to fall at the moment. Arrows hitting, but the shields are taking pretty well the entire brunt of it, and that's going to be the second inhib falling for the side of Dorado.
Oh, and that's a very nice pickup coming through there.
Engage, Boss goes down. Barnes looking like he's going to go down, but they are able to trade Mohana. Barnes going to be able to survive, and there we go. It's a double kill from Husky. Voltic going to try to run away, losing a lot of health, and Noah still full health. Almost considering that double tower dive. Not going to go for it, but it's 3 very low health members of Glacial. They are able to find Husky. They're able to find Keat as well, and it's just going to be Noah against Varus and against Soraka. He's going to have to pull out, and that's a lot of gold funneled back into Glacial.
Yeah, that's some absolutely exceptional play to pick up what they can, but we have to remember exactly where we are in the game, and you are in your own base at 22 minutes fighting for your life against a Baroned up Dorado who have 3 Drakes. It's great to see some shutdowns, but it couldn't have came at a worse time. If you got that 10 minutes earlier, there might be a hope in this game, but it's still so tough.
It's not your favorite place to be. It definitely isn't. It did give Volt a little bit of a gold injection to try to hold their own against Azier. But yeah, like there's almost every player on Dorado is 1,000 gold ahead of their opposing player on Glacial. And with that Cloud Drake spawning in 30 seconds, it being Soul, you need a hell of a fight if you're Glacial still. You really need this dragon fight to go well if you take it. If not, I mean, you can just try to turtle in your base and use those towers to your advantage, but I don't know how much good that's going to do you either. It's a scary position. What would you do, Satyr? If you're the coach of Glacial and you're in their ears, what are you telling them to do?
To be honest, because I'm back coaching now, you're asking me these questions.
Yeah.
It's a go next. Forget about it. It was a practice game.
Oh God, don't.
No, but I'm honest. Like when it comes to we were playing there the other night, and our first game didn't go well. We didn't end up winning it. Game 2, we went 19-0, and we had taken 6 towers before they had taken 1. Like sometimes you just need to get a feel for how they want to play. Now you get to go into draft and go, okay, so the Aatrox we couldn't control it with the Aurelia. Jin Zhao is a priority for them. If we take blue side, we can take Jin Zhao first. That's 2 of their picks if we ban the Aatrox. Slow things like that and try to break down what they can play, because this could be Dorado's best comp. What happens if you start to pick it apart and take things off of it? So things could change very easily. But Natai,
Gonna try to go in here. Gets forced under the turret. The knockback gonna go through. The Tie's gonna go down immediately at the start of the fight. Volta gonna lose half their health. There is the Soraka ultimate. Gonna try to keep some people alive. Wishing for some better days at the moment. As we see the mid lane is starting to crash through. Noah gonna be the one supporting it as they're looking to take down the T3 turret. They're slowly, very slowly choking out here. Glacial, and there's not a lot Glacial can do. That T3 turret going to fall directly after. Here comes the third inhib, and now we're getting those double super minion waves coming forward. Mohana forced back into the tower. It's a 4v5. Husky is pretty hurt, but able to play pretty safe. And it's just a slow downfall at the moment for Glacial. Maybe they are talking about next draft. Maybe that is the conversation happening, but they're still trying to put some fight into it. Mohana gonna try to jump onto the back. Barnes able to hop on top of False. There's the Cataclysm, but he's going to be forced to go right away. False going to go down to Natai, who's back on the Rift. Noah trying to fight, but he's caught in the middle of 3. Barnes goes down as well. It's only Husky and Keita are going to go away from this. They got their third inhib, but now 40 seconds. Those top inhib and the mid inhib is going to spawn soon. They might have to draw this game out a little longer.
yeah, Glacial with their backs against the wall are managing to hold on through gritted teeth. But they're still holding on, and that's still a great fight from them. They haven't completely given up on this, which is great to see. It is just such a tough position to be playing in, and we want to see the best we can from each team. And Glacial, this is looking good from them, but their early game was just not there. And I think a lot of it is Monahana needs to be a little bit quicker on the ganks, a little bit smarter with those ganks, and just communication needs to pick up a little bit. They don't seem on the same page sometimes. If they can get that going, they could really put a fight up against Dorado for game 2.
I do have an interesting question for you, Crusader. How do we feel about the heal cut on Xin Zhao?
Look, when your jungler is power farming the way that they are, and they do have such height advantages, there's no harm in grabbing it. To be honest, it's perfectly fine. I don't see an issue with it. I'm not going to be.
You prefer to what's under Sky?
Yeah, you don't need to do as much damage when you have a 3-item Ezreal. Your
Okay.
Aatrox is 1v9. You have an Azir and a Karma who also has a heal cut. Double heal cut isn't necessarily terrible into the likes of a Soraka-based team with an Aurelia. It's perfectly fine. I'm not too pushed about it. If they can work together and make sure everyone is getting that heal cut, it's fine.
That is the takes from the Grand Master coach here. As Mohana gonna get pulled back. False gonna be the one who picks up the kill there. As Barnes is in the back of the 3 of them. Meanwhile, Volta gonna be caught out, going to go golden. However, it's not gonna do them very well, as Ezreal's able to pick them up as soon as they come out of it. And now I think we're seeing the end of the first game of the Vanquisher season, as the first Nexus turret's going to fall. Natai trying to do their best to keep it from falling, but that's not going to last very long. The second turret going to fall immediately after, and that is looking like game 1. They're going to go for a few extra kills here, as Basket of Knives are going to fall. Azir pushing Natai back, making sure to add another kill to the tally. Keat barely going to survive that, as the Nexus goes down, and Dorado Gaming Theta picks up game 1 of the series.
Yeah, I think that worked out perfectly fine for me. And the double heal cut, it was working when those fights were a little bit more split. When I was on one, Karma was on the other, trying to keep Ezreal alive. Look, it looked great. It was a great game from Dorado. As much as I don't like the org, and I want to give anyone the opportunity to beat them. They still play incredibly well. I can't fault them for being a good team. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're going to bring into game 2. But Glacial, my eyes are on you for being just smarter in your draft, bringing it forward a little bit more, being that more aggressive team, and not being as responsive as we saw. And please don't give Jin Zhao free double skull. Don't do that again.
I think giving Xin Zhao a free double scuttle is always the play. I think eventually we'll see enough Xin Zhao wins that you'll be forced to agree with me. But yeah, like you said, you locked in the Jarvan, and we didn't see not as much action come out as we wanted, and especially to have those 2 top ganks fail, including that tower dive, it kind of cemented them in a rough spot from the beginning.
Yeah, it just, once that first gank went badly, I kind of went, okay, this game is starting to fall apart a little bit. Like, there's only so much you can plan for as a team, and when that's happening, when you had a small advantage, let's not say they had a big advantage because it wasn't massive, But what they did have was the opportunity to let Aurelia be that 1v1 versus Noah. And it just didn't end up working out for them. And the Aatrox just became too much of an issue then. And it was forced then for the Jarvan to continue going to topside. I would like to see just change it up. Either make that top side, weak side, play it as an island, and try to get something on that bot, because that Varus, that could have definitely ripped through the rest of the squad. Let's say the Aatrox is always going to be safe in that situation, but if you can stop that backline with Azir and Ezreal with a couple of really good snipes, which we did see from the Varus, the potential was there, it might have changed it up a little bit. So I would like to see a little bit more presence in that bot side from the jungler, because that was the most stale lane I've ever seen. That was like a week-old French baguette. It was just quiet down there.
Oh, week-old French baguette isn't always that bad. Like, unless it's French.
Yeah, but if you go to France and have a week-old baguette, they're actually literally categorized as a weapon. They're like concrete.
Please tell me you're lying.
No, like literally, like people have been bludgeoned by these things. They're so fresh. Like, see, the thing is, you have American food, okay? Like, all of your food is so preservatives and sugars. It's just like a week-old French baguette is like as soft as ever. But if you have like food from France and you get it day one, fresh out the oven, and leave it for a week, you come back and that thing you could make a house out of them.
Well, the only way we can see if someone pulls out the week-old French baguette on the Rift is to go to the next draft. So we are going to take a short break, and we will see you guys with... I can't get over the...
Let's go.
Can I be your star tonight? You fill my soul with light the day we met. I don't wanna leave your side, no. Have me by your side when the sun sets. Let's leave for an eternity. We'll sail across the lights beyond the sky. I'll be with you eternally. I'm an addict for your love, it keeps me high, keeps me high. Wait for me, I'm not far behind. I know that I can change. Remembering all of those nights beneath the window frame. Don't know why we keep going round in the same place. Can't decide to live my life on the ground or in outer space. Live my life on the ground or in
Don't say goodbye. Don't make me cry. Fading again, but I won't give in to you. Don't say goodbye. Don't make me cry.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready for Game 2 of Glacial versus Dorado Gaming Theta. And we're already back to the hot bands. Diana going right away. Of course, Dorado Gaming picked up the first win here in this series. Pretty decisively, I might add. There's got to be some changes to the draft, I think, Sater. You were talking about how there's definitely some bans you'd like to see come out. What champion do you absolutely not want to see come out for this this next match here?
I'd like to see them ban the Aatrox and then take the Jin Zhao and just change that top side of the map. Completely change it. Force Dorado into a change. That's the most important thing. Make them swap something so we can see something different from them. You never want to give them the run back, especially not a salty run back. It's happened a couple of times in our scrims when we're practicing a couple of things where we played Vi into a Lee Sin and my jungler was like, he wasn't even that good. I can play Lee Sin better than him. They locked Vi, he then picked Lee Sin, and then he got bodied on it. So never give them the salty run back. But bans, they haven't changed. There's been no changes. At least take the Jin Zhao here. Or not.
Surely they do. Surely. I actually like this Jin Zhao to the Nocturne. The Karma's going to be picked up here. You look stressed about it. I don't mind it. I don't mind seeing the Karma first picked. It does
really
force
strong.
a little bit of a switch.
No, but it's really strong and it's in a great place right now, and it's a great flex. You can bring it into 3 lanes, so you can bring it all over the place, but you're not taking enough off the board, and they're going to take the Varus this time. They still get the Razir. Are you going to take the Corki here to match the Azir? What are you going to play with the Corki? If you take the Corki, you can't show the mid laner because Karma can't be flexed there anymore, so you're already showing 1 card. Sivir is going to go in, so they could just be playing hyper push bot lane and keep the pressure up.
I haven't seen, so I admittedly I haven't watched a lot of the like LCS, LCK, any of that yet. Has Sivir been a prominent pick, or has, okay, so I'm not crazy. I have not seen a lot of Sivir this season. I feel like Glacial's comps are still reminding me a lot of Season 13, and it is worrying me a little bit.
I like the Sejuani though.
The Sejuani
like
is interesting, but that also still reminds me of Season 13. I haven't seen a lot of Sejuanis out because I feel like right now it's been a lot of like high tempo or just strong.
How much are you basing it off
out.
solo queue though?
75%. I think 25% of my scrims and watching a couple comp games here and there.
This is one thing I want to get across to everyone that's watching and everyone that enjoys kind of more competitive League of Legends in general. Comp and solo queue are completely separate. There's certain picks that work in the solo queue that you will never see in comp. Like you will never see a Teemo. And Teemo is probably one of the highest win rate champions over the last 2 patches. You will not see a Teemo. And that's just a pick straight off the top of my head. There's other champions that also won't work as well without teams to guide them into what they can do best. Right now you have a Sivir, a Karma, and a Sejuani. All 3 of those want to go forward, go fast, and sprint. All of them work together to do that. Sejuani has long range slows, and Sivir and Karma have the speed. Everything they do wants them going forward. Problem is, Dorado have decided to play the correct picks here, and have picked Renata, which stops all of that. They've played Trundle, which stops Sejuani from being a tank. They have Varus, which will never get touched because they don't have backline access. There's an Azir that can just push them back if they do get too close. Dorado are currently winning the draft. We're going to see a Zyra come out, which would make my partner very happy, as she is a Zyra 1-trick, and it is very strong right now. But when are Dorado going to be stepping into you, where you can use Zyra's ult on more than one person? So
yeah. Oh, but there is the Darius pick coming out. That is interesting. I think, well, you got Mordekaiser ulted in your camera, so it makes sense. If your Dorado is Trundle going to the jungle, or are you counterpicking that Darius? There it is.
Just pick Cassante. Every single time, just pick Cassante. Like, it is the most busted champion still to this day. It's still so prevalent in solo queue, in comp. I think in LCK, it's I think it's 100% pick ban, or at least 90% pick ban. It's so prevalent and so strong, and it does so much. Like, I can just see this all starting off, and it's like, say one person gets ahead on Glacial, and then we just go to no, and he goes, cool, I'll rip them into over 4 walls and disappear, and we'll just have a fight off to the side of the screen while the rest of you just clean this one up. I absolutely love Dorado's draft. It's absolutely perfect.
It's really good, especially into what Glacial's trying to do. Like you said, it's run forward versus a team that can easily shut that down. And now it feels like once again Glacial is going to be on the back foot going into this game, and that's a really difficult situation to be in.
Yeah, I look at it this way. I think one team is definitely using some sort of pro drafting kind of idea here. They're definitely getting something going with this one. On the other side, though.
So you'd say they're using our sponsor, and that if the people out there want to draft like Dorado Gaming in their competitive games, they should use pro comps? Is that what you're saying here, Sater?
I'm just going to stare at the camera. I'm going to let you go.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you more about our sponsor, the fantastic app that I think you guys will love. It's like your personal draft coach or assistant, whether you're playing solo queue or with your team. It's nothing like all the other tools that everyone is used to. In fact, pro comps can be used together with any of them as complement, and you'll understand why. They have incredible features like the ability to create champion pools for players and teams and receive personalized recommendations during the draft. They allow users to create personalized tier lists in addition to the ones they provide in order to allow anyone to make their interpretation of the goal and have tailored recommendations during drafting. It provides real-time advice and relevant data during live drafts, acting as a virtual coach. They deliver automated champion recommendations or allow you to use smart filters for a more tailored approach, and even have ban recommendations. They also allow users to either create their own compositions or generate them based on smart filters and recommendations and save them for later. Also, after drafting is complete, there's a guide that outlines the overall strategy for the upcoming game. Well, it's packed with value. ProComps has already hit over 200,000 downloads and have thousands of daily active users. It's user-friendly, and it's free, no paywall, so you can try it out without dropping a dime, and you can support them by removing ads. So if you want to give it a shot, go down to the panels below and download ProComps to step up your league game. Whew.
Good job.
It's like
genuinely impressed.
It's like New Ridge, only like important to the game we're playing.
Hey, we like New Ridge.
We do like New Ridge.
On New Ridge.
To be honest, I got a question. Did anyone buy the Zoe Barstool? Because I wanted to buy it for a meme and like come on stream and sit on it and have a sticker of Zoe on it, but I was a bit too broke.
I have like 4 of them. I decorated my new kitchen.
I really hope you're being honest.
I am.
Seriously?
Yeah, there was cheap shipping.
Wait, that's awesome.
Yeah, well, like, whatever. Let's get back into the game because we can't talk about them too much. But look, we're going to break back into this one. We're going to be looking at maybe a Darius raid boss here, but I'm still, the Cassante worries me way too much. But I'm looking forward to seeing the Karma. It's a little bit more meta coming out from that mid lane, as Talia has been a little bit under the weather, I guess is a good way to put it, with where she is currently in the meta. So I'm looking forward to seeing a bit of a change here coming out from this.
Yeah, I am also. It should be interesting. I do feel like their mid lane pick this game is definitely better. However, it's really hard for me to. I'd almost rather the Talia here just for the sake that I feel like if Karma doesn't impact the other lanes, we might have a bit of an issue here.
I think Karma's main strength at the moment is Malignant is absolutely broken at controlling areas, and Karma can just mantra Q and just continue to throw that out and keep themselves safe, because Vayne tries to jump onto them, they just mantra W, get all that health back, become a tank all of a sudden, and it's just annoying to play against, and you never really feel like you have a chance to play against it. And I think that's the entire idea behind the new kind of Karma style. It's just as annoying as it always has been, just a little bit better at doing so. And I'm kind of hoping to see them come out the gates strong with it as well. I want to see them get something, but Barnes is already here.
Barnes is here. He's on Voltic. Heat going to be able to try to help out here. Monahana, though, was quick on the draw. Barnes taking a ton of damage as the Ghost and not the Flash, which means, oh, a beautiful dodge. But the Flash from Sejuani is going to claim their life, and that's a first blood, this time on Glacial.
Yeah, big shift in tempo from what we saw in game one. They're actually coming out the gates fighting on this one, which we absolutely love to see to start us off on this one. And we have all the hope in the world to get us to a game 3 and really put the pressure on them. Let's see what else they can do with this, though. They need to still keep their head in the game, make sure they're playing around it correctly, because they did burn a lot there. 2 flashes went down. They only burned a Ghost from Barnes, and Kisumi has a lot of pressure in this lane, and False is here. Kisumi's stepping up, wants a little bit of help clearing this wave out, I think. But Voltic, you can't be standing and taking shots like that.
Yeah, they're going to be forced to run into the chart. They lose their flash, and that could open some big ganks out from Barnes if they go for it. Of course, Sejuani was there for the first one, but if they're not, it could be a lot riskier. Top lane, Ty's doing a great job right now at trying to keep Noah off some of those minions. A lot of damage coming up from that Darius, and maybe we'll get the Darius pentakill this game. Maybe it becomes a tradition. But with Void grubs up, there are going to be some battles happening in this top river. False has rotated up. Little Libra Lady has rotated up. Voltic here. Keats coming as well. Multiple stuns going forward. But Zyra doing a great job. And it does look like Glacial's having a bit of control over this early game.
Bit of control. We'll take that. That's something that we're looking forward to. Void grubs going over first. Love to see it.
That's the first one.
That's the first one. They should be able to get this one. It doesn't look like Barnes is going to try and contest it. Grubs to start with this comp as well. You do have a little bit of side lane pressure. Karma's very hard to take out. It will be down to Noah, but then you also have a Darius on the other side. I will say there's less TPs available, so the movement is better from Dorado, but the staying power is better for Glacial in that macro sense. Let's just see if they can play to that macro sense and put themselves in a strong position going forward.
Dorado Gaming, though, they're looking to get this dragon. They did lose the Void grubs. Trundle walking right over to it. Could be the trade that we were expecting last game. How do you feel about stacking dragons this season? Do you think it's still something viable?
I think it's becoming an argument of top versus bot when it comes to what you want to focus. And I think most of the time junglers are more comfortable ganking top. I know it's been a kind of ritual that you never gank bot, and there was one meta for like a month where you only ganked bot side. But when you think of how strong top side is, if you have a winning top side, you control nearly all of their jungle.
Oh, a big pushback on Voltic. Voltic going to be stuck with no flash on Barnes and Keat. Here's Monahana to try to save the day, and it looks like they're going to be able to as they knock Barnes and Keat away from Voltic, who's kind of caught in just a very safe position because of Monahana. Monahana playing a much better early game than they did last time on the Jarvan.
That's what I was saying. If you go all in on Karma and you get that Mantra W, suddenly you become a tank and you're fine. No issues whatsoever comes from that. And yeah, we saw it right there. They dropped the ults. They had everything they needed on it. And Voltic just went, I am a tank in a way, and survives. And yeah, Monahana was there to help cover, keep them safe in the end. Right now, that's all they need to be doing. But the goal lead isn't even there after that first kill. It's still in the favor of Dorado. It may be small, but it's still there.
Yeah, it's definitely is a kill lead, not a gold lead though, as they are 300 up, but that could change right here in Monahana's gank. False gonna get knocked up here. There's gonna be the permafrost as Varus knows he's going down, trying to take one with him, but isn't going to happen. The ignite goes through. There is the trying to fight or die. Ultimately, he dies. That's that. 2 kills over, and now the gold is pretty even because Keat's able to pull one back in the mid lane. A nice solo bolo on the Azir. As the Karma pick, not tanky enough.
Yeah. Not tanky enough for the moment. I'm looking more towards this top side now. I'm not sure why there's been no presence top. I did want it to be a little bit more islanded from the side of Glacial, but I'm surprised not to see Barons heading up towards this, as Flash and Ghost have not been burned by the Darius. There's been no real aggression coming out. I want to see Darius going aggressive, and this would be the time to do it because there's never been any pressure coming from that jungler. You need to pull the trigger at some stage on Darius and just go for it, but play the steel caps rush, not going aggressive. you need to become a raid boss, but you also need to be fighting to do so.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of early pressure from Natai before the steel caps came out, but since the steel caps have come out, it's felt like Kasante's been very safe, and we've seen the CS difference completely change. But here comes Monahana to that top lane. Is he going to be able to do anything, or is Noah going to be able to get away? Noah going to be able to flash with the permafrost coming out. It does look like the kill is going to go over to Natai. There's the decimate, but Voltic coming up to steal the kill.
Okay, right. I'm not sure about that kill going over to the Karma. We'll take it regardless. It's still a kill. It's still pressure. Darius can get it in. Zyra's also on the top side right now, so they really were putting resources towards that top laner. As Zyra's actually going to stay and get those last few stacks off. Make sure to get all the money that they can, which I love to see. But yeah, I'm not too happy with the kill going over to the Karma. I guess it's fine, but Basket of Knives, you are in a hell of a lot of trouble.
Yeah, that's rough. There's the subjugate going out, and Basket of Knives has nowhere to go. They're going to get deleted immediately between those two towers. And now Plating's going to go over to the bot lane of DOG. And it seems like Dorado Gaming's bot lane has been a huge point of contention for helping them win these games. And once again, we're seeing almost the same CS gap despite the death on the Varus. And Plating going over to them once again.
Yeah, they're getting everything they need here. Little Libra Lady is appearing in the mid lane. Zyra trying to chase down the bird. I'm not sure. Birds kind of eat plants, right? Like seeds and stuff. Like, does Zyra really have a hope here?
Is Azir a vulture or just like a regular bird?
He's a human turned bird.
Then, I mean, do humans eat plants?
What I don't get, right? So this is another confusion with me about League of Legends lore. Why are Renekton and Nasus the way they are, but Azir is the way he is when they're all ascended?
Well,
he's
Azir's not ascended.
Right?
Azir's not ascended.
He is. He was reborn ascended.
I guess, but like it's different, right? It's gotta feel a little bit different. I like to think so, because the one human ascended we got was Xerath.
No, he was the failed ascended. He was the one that blew up.
Yeah, exactly. But like, were Renekton and Nasus humans before they became Renekton and Nasus?
Yes, they were brothers. Like, there'd be a lot of questions raised if I was having a kid with someone and one came out a crocodile and one came out a dog.
Literally, you haven't played D&D.
I've played D&D, but it's still very, very difficult to explain the difference in...
Look, sometimes you're a half-orc and your brother's a
mammal. One
half-dragon.
came from an egg.
So what?
If they're the animals that they are, because crocodiles come from eggs and dogs come from dogs.
Well, except...
I have to explain the birds and the bees to you,
The
Romeo.
hear me out. The dogs have eggs. It's just internal.
Am
I wrong? Am I wrong? You know what I'm not wrong about? Glacial just claimed Hextech Dragon, and there is going to be a lot of damage going through us. Monahana going to go down. They're trying to pull back some kills for this claim. Little Libra Lady is getting picked apart from the birdie. Apparently they do eat plants, to answer your question. Zyra is almost certainly going to go down to Keat if he can catch up. Maybe. There it is. There's Keat's kill. And now a 1.5 thousand gold gap for Dorado Gaming, and that gold gap is getting further ahead. The only difference this time is they've lost 6 Void Grubs, which can be very damning if Glacier's ever able to get on a good push.
We go back to the dogs have eggs inside them thing.
They do. Right?
I've never felt more uncomfortable in a cast with you in my entire life.
Tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong. Dogs do not have eggs inside them. Unless they've eaten an egg.
Does it not?
No.
1 second. We're doing some biology research here.
If
Okay.
you're counting eggs as in like embryos.
Yeah, like they're little uterus things.
Like little uterus things.
Like humans have eggs in them too, no? Like that's
No. Female.
pretty well how it works. Yeah,
Female
exactly.
humans.
So do female dogs, do they not?
No, but it's a different than a
It's different, but
crocodile egg. A crocodile egg is outside, like, do you know, like
a bird egg is different than a crocodile egg as well.
I think the American education system has just failed.
Good thing I'm not American.
You're close to America. You're Canadian.
That's not how it works.
Like, what have you produced apart from Drake and Justin Bieber?
Okay, we don't claim Justin Bieber.
I'd rather claim Justin Bieber than Drake, to be honest.
Well, it
but
looks like we're
nonetheless,
trying to
if
claim
I'm
the
upside-
tie. hasn't happened yet. It does look like it's going to be a lot of nothing, just a push in, as the minions are going to be the only thing hitting that turret. A lot of people rotated up here for Rift Herald. It looks like we might have a bigger fight over Rift Herald than we did over the Void Grubs, which is not as common this season.
Yeah, the Rift Herald Void Grubs arguments, 6 Void Grubs is still very, very strong. It's great to see. Rift Herald is so strong. As long as they know how to drift it, it's just go watch Tokyo Drift. It's also a really good movie.
Have you seen that video going around of the NASCAR driver who was like in 14th, about to get eliminated, and he hugged the side of the wall and ended up in like 3rd?
Oh yeah, Power Drift.
That's what we need to be able to do with Rift Herald.
We should all watch Cars as a casting group. No?
Like the Pixar movie, Cars?
Yeah.
Great
movie.
Are we allowed? There is that scene where Lightning McQueen gets flashed. I don't think we're allowed to show that.
We don't watch it on stream. We just watch it as a casting group.
Well, what numbers Lightning McQueen again? I'm like blanking on his key. Getting his kill count numbers up. Ka-chow! Meanwhile, little Libra lady on the run from Noah, not going to be able to get away. This fight is all Dorado Gaming. It's looking like it's going to be an ace. The Tide not going to be able to pull that back. Vera's going to get the triple kill, showing why having such a huge CS differential matters so much in fights. The Bork over no item completed on Sivir. That fight was just game-changing. And now we're seeing the big pull away from Dorado Gaming Theta. That's 9 kills to 3.
Yeah, getting everything they need here as they just play that macro sense. They just get more plates, more towers. They'll also be pulling in for that Rift Herald. We'll have to see if Barons will reattempt the drifting here. But yeah, they're just pulling away slowly.
Yeah, Rift Herald's going to go by Barnes. Surely this time they crash into the turret. They could just let it crash by itself. That is always an option. I mean, I was going to say, I don't think I've ever seen a game where somebody does that, because, like, I like being in the purple thing as well.
How many times have you accidentally clicked it?
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I've done
I
that a lot.
think I've played 50 games this season. I'd say at least 12 of them I've accidentally clicked it. One of them, I ended up going from mid lane and crashing into the T2 turret top lane.
Oh yeah, I just go the complete opposite direction like I always meant to, even though I've clicked way too many times. My APM is too high to be fighting on this. Oh, it's nuts.
What's your APM? Like, what's your average APM?
I actually have no idea. I just know that like my mouse, even my mouse DPI is higher than most people's.
Guys, put your APM in the chat and your like typing speed. I'm curious about like the average typing speed of a League player.
Like, I'm gonna go find out what my DPI is right now. My DPI is 1800 by 1800.
Pete's DPI is far enough to get him away from a 3v1 situation. Mountain Drake going to spawn here. Barnes going to be using Subjugate really early on Monahana. That means the tank is down as Noah's in the background. Meanwhile, on the Tide, nowhere near the fight. Basket of Knives going to have to run for it. On the Hunt going to be activated as Noah taking a ton of damage. Husky one-shot Sivir right out of this world. Azier going to finish the job on Monahana. Now it's a 3v5. Husky one shot from death, but is in relative safety because of that karma. The knockup from Voltic. Voltic gonna go down almost immediately. There goes Libra and Natai, the last one again, but the last one who isn't going to be able to make that much of an impact. Trying to pull back Barnes. Barnes canceled only 5 auto attacks, but it doesn't matter as we see the arrow go through the skull. We might see the first 10,000 gold gap this game.
Yeah, and it's Dorado once again. If your entire comp is based around going as far and as fast forward as possible, and you can't find the angle because Renata can fire an ult or send you backwards, it's just a really, really bad time. And we see it right in front of us right now. Glacial, they want to go forward, they want to fight, but they're too far behind. They can't get through. And Dorado are just playing it exceptionally well, and this proves why this org was our champions last year.
Yeah, if you're in Vanquisher and you're watching this, you need to know that this is your competition. They didn't win last season for nothing, and yeah, it's a lot of the new players, but it's the same org, it's similar coaching, it's similar styles of scrimming and whatnot, and it's clearly paying off. You know this team has definitely worked well on this offseason to prep for Titan, and it's really showing in these first 2 games.
Yeah, they know what they're doing, they know what they want, and they're not going to stop at any point. They are there to take it once again. They want more rings, and that's what we're here for. We're here to see who can get the most and really build themselves up, and they're building themselves up a dynasty here at the moment with the way they're playing.
Yeah, and it's only gonna keep going as Noah trying to just easily walk away from the karma, and it's those two in the top. We're gonna see Husky in the mid lane laning against Basket of Knives at the moment, and Keat easily pushing that bot lane. By the way, why do we call it chips?
Hold on, never mind this fight.
Yeah, one moment. Mona gonna go in on False here. False gonna be taken down to half immediately. This could be a good fight for Glacial if they can figure it out, but with Husky coming so quickly to the aid of their teammates, you know if you're Glacial, you're not feeling good about this. Basket of Knives trying to go as well, but you just see all that health go from Mana instantaneously. Noah on Basket of Knives winning the 1v1. There goes Voltic. There goes Libra. Is there anything Glacial can do here without their Darius?
No, it all falls apart right in front of them here, as they just can't get anything done. The TIE can't join these fights. There's no TP. They don't have the macro ability to move around right now, and it is just falling apart from them. And did you just ask why you call it chips?
Yeah. Why do we call it chips? Like when
Instead of crisps.
No, that's. You know what I meant. Like why do you call winning a league a chip?
I'm gonna guess it comes from a different sport. Like most people call it a ring in America because
The only thing I can think of is poker. When you're in the World Series of Poker, you get a ring and a chip. Yeah, the cup's just called the cup.
Do you get a chip on the cup?
No.
Is there not like a little ring thing you get to put on the Stanley Cup?
You get a ring, but you don't chip at it. You like
Don't
write
you
your
get
names in
something
it.
etched onto the cup like a chip?
I guess you could argue you chip your name into it. I think.
That's what I'm thinking in my head.
Short
Like,
for
I might be
championship, is
incorrect.
what Chat's saying.
Short for championship.
I guess because you take out the champions part, and it becomes chip.
I don't think that's it. Yeah, I don't know. I like the term looking to get their ring. I like that one because I am starting to become a fan of the Super Bowl.
I think Titan should ship rings to their players, but I think that's if we get enough donations.
Etsy.
Get some Etsy made rings for the players and the coach. That would make amateur esports so much more fun to play.
Yeah, we'd have the exact same amount, me and you.
That's not. I'd have two.
For my championships, I'd have like. I was joking about the 2022 Elysium champions that we both have in the Discord. So I'd get a ring for that.
Wait, why do you have?
Because it annoys you. That's why.
I don't understand how they gave you that. I fought tooth and nail for that.
Yeah, and I got it for being cool. I know it annoys you, so I'm just gonna keep bringing it up.
Barnes
here we
here,
go, final fight.
Beautiful iceberg sinking the Titanic immediately as we watch Zyra disappear from existence. Your partner's not going to be very happy about that. Basket of Knives going to be following it up immediately, barely surviving that. Has to burn ult. The turrets are slowly falling. They're stuck on just the turrets in their base. Meanwhile, Noah's showing like Kasante's never leaving the meta ever again. Got the baguette.
So what can you
He's
do
got two
against
baguettes.
Renata? It's my favorite thing to like draft in as a prio bot lane at any stage of the game is just you pick Kalista Renata. It's just such a broken little combo, and Kitsumi's actually going to be able to hold off the tank right now. It's just a Sunfire and the Tormail coming out. What are you going to do against that Azir? Like, it just stands there and it will half health you in less than 5-10 seconds. It's very, very tough here for the likes of Dorado to fail at this stage. There's no way you can mess this up.
Well, you maybe hear me out. All 5 of their powers go out simultaneously.
There'd be a pause, no?
Only for 30 minutes. And I think after 10 minutes it's a forfeit. So all you need is all 5 of their teammates to have all their powers go out at the same time for 10 minutes.
You know what? Sure, that's one way to do it. I think there'd be an investigation, and we would try our best to have a structured and fair play. But sure, Romeo, if that's what you want to happen, you can go
I
for
didn't
that.
say I want it to happen. I just said it is a way back in the game. Alternatively, you somehow find a pick on Azir and a pick on Varus and a pick on Cassante, put it all onto your Darius or Sivir, and then Darius does a pentakill.
That's a little bit more reliable, I think. I think I'd rather go for that one. But at the end
I
of
don't
the
know
day,
if it's
this is
more
the final
reliable.
siege. This is where it is incredibly hard to beat these
Oh,
here because this here
Barris.
also has a tower. Oh god.
You did just watch their tank get shot like it was an ADC against Kazakhs, right? We
Yeah.
both seen that? Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Noah showing why four of them can't do enough damage to him. There's going to be the slot back as their tank themselves is going to disappear. And now it's just the squishies for Noah and Barnes to run down. The pillar going to knock Knife, but he's going to be caught in a rough spot as Barnes does fall. It is a 4v4 here on the siege, and once again, is Dorado Gaming making the same mistake as last game? They could be, but it doesn't look like it, as Noah gonna make sure it doesn't happen. Slots 2 away. That is our 4,700 HP, 329 armor champion who's able to do damage like he's an assassin.
Yeah, but he has everything built in, and it looks like the same as before, where Glacial managed to pick up a couple of kills in their own base in the last couple of moments, but this time around, Dorado aren't as forceful, they're taking their time. There's the shot from the Varus, the cleanse coming through, there's the...
Mana trying. But Husky just says, nope, there goes the Libra. Clearly, I don't know, he must have been what, an Aries or something? I don't know what doesn't like Libra, it's something. So,
Why did you reach for that of all things?
what is the Libra besides like a sign? Maybe the stars weren't aligned properly, that's what happened.
Libra is also a word for scales.
Is it?
To say it's not balanced.
Well, speaking of scaling, it does look like Glacial has scaled back into this game as they stop the final push once more. Nexus is exposed, but the game still lives on.
Yeah, I'm looking around the map, just like getting my kind of final tallies of the whole game, looking through, going, yeah, that's good. This is bad, but I'm just looking at like you've taken one tower and you have no Nexus towers left. It is just
Easier here to try to finish.
They're not messing around.
They're really just trying to close it out, but Glacial props them. They're really trying to put a stop to it. Barnes right there, and that looks like it could just be it. They're just too tanky, too much damage going through. Keep gonna try to add a couple more kills to his collection, and that is going to be the first series of Vanquisher as Dorado Gaming Theta take a decisive 2-0 victory against Glacial.
Yeah, and to be honest, it's not what I wanted to see week 1. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more fight come out in our first series, coming back, finally getting to jump in and cast back. I think I've actually been missing it quite a lot. I've been missing Titan quite a bit this year, because we had such a long split last time, and it was every week we were in and out and having a great time. But it's good to be back. It's good to see Dorado still coming out the gate strong. I'm not going to lie. It's great to see an org, even if I don't like the org, and we've had our beef in the past in the chat. Regardless, I like having an org I don't like. It's like everyone when they used to hate TSM or hate CLG.
You need a villain. You need a good villain to root against. And
yeah, like these are our legacy team. You know, these are the ones that are looking for it.
For many orgs, it's the top dog that you are rooting against. Dorado Gaming, if you want a villain that needs to get overthrown, it's going to be them. And to be fair, we've seen them fight Glacial last season, and it was a lot closer. These series, it shows just how much stronger Dorado Gaming already is after being champions last season. That's not usually... You usually see champions that are just as good, but I feel like Dorado's on an even higher level than they were last season with Dorado Gaming Gamma. Theta has just come in and destroyed the competition tonight. And they've adapted to Season 14 so well, where we didn't really see that with Glacial. Glacial felt like they still were kind of playing... like, their comps seem to have a lot of Season 13 components, whereas Theta they feel very, very well drafted. They feel very comfortable in the champions. They feel comfortable with the new items, the new map layout. They know what they're doing with the Void Grubs. They're a team that we're very comfortable dropping the Void Grubs to just get as much gold as they can on Husky, which is also something a lot of teams still don't really do from my solo queue experiences, admittedly, and my little bit of comp scrims. But it is interesting to see just how well adapted and how much of a clear plan they had going into these two games.
Yeah, I think Dorado are, as an org, are very, very well drilled. And for those that don't know what drilled means, is that they can go into any game and they always have something prepared. I was hoping with the draft change, we'll see something different from them. We saw them change the entire comp bar the Azir, and they still came out very, very strong. I would like to see another team force them to change up their picks, but Glacial came in with bans. They ran out of bans almost immediately as well because nothing worked. So
yeah,
we're not going back to this egg conversation. I've seen you
No,
looking
no,
at Discord. We're not going back to this egg conversation.
no. We got a message. We got a message from Sandbag, and he just wanted to say, loving the cast, but I'm having a stroke listening to this. The female gamete is called an egg. You're right, dogs do have them. Please flame Satyr. Lightning McQueen's number is 95, and the World Series of Poker reward is a bracelet, not a ring.
This is why I love Sandbag. Also, for those that don't know, me and Sandbag somehow end up in 1,000 Discords together. Sandbag was also in the Irish Collegiate Esports. So all the way from my college, all the way to Titan, we have been connected somehow across all of these leagues.
That's insane.
It's magic. It's actually, I must actually check really quickly to see how many Discords we are in together, because Sandbag is the OG, and I absolutely love how we always end up in Discords together. But going over this, how do you feel about week 1 of Vanquisher now? Are you happy with it? Are you good to break it down?
Like you said, I'm happy that we're back, and I'm happy to see a team so dominant. I'm interested to see whether or not people are going to react to Dorado as the villains of the season or not. I hope some of the games are closer. I think Glacial, definitely after this, you're going to have a sit down with your team and probably try to gun it a lot harder. But it's interesting to just kind of get that starting point where this is how it was in Season 13, this is how it was in Season 14. There's definitely a lot of connections, but it's also a lot of new stuff happening, a lot of new champions, and I'm interested to see, like you said earlier, how the meta of Vanquisher's going to shape up. Is there going to be a meta cemented, or is it going to be one of those seasons where we just see a ton of different champs come out, which I am really hoping for. I imagine in a few weeks we're going to have what we're picking and banning all the time. Right now, all we really see is that Karma coming out every game. But, and Varus, I guess, for that matter. But it's interesting to see the different strategies that are coming in play. I'm excited to see how it lies, because it feels like these teams, just in these 2 games, had very different strategies across both games. And I'm hoping that continues. I really hope that continues into week 2, week 3 as we go on.
Yeah, as we go on, we're going to see a lot more coming out from these teams. We're going to slowly see the breakdown of meta coming into this, and we'll definitely see some of those mirrors, especially with LCS on live patch. Hopefully, we'll see a lot of those coming through as well. Yep. But Romeo, as always, take us out.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was week 1. We are going to go ahead and get a raid going, so join up for the raid. Get your free channel points there. But I was Romeo. That was Sando. Tonight was produced by none other than Chris Sunga. And finally, we're back in Vanquisher, baby. That was week 1. We'll see you in a week's time. Nice.
day, eyes on my display. You say we need a change, and I feel that you mean it. You mean it. But you're so right, we're losing track of time, buying things online, and it's not like we need them. We don't need them. So can we just slow down? The only thing I'll do is lay here next to you. We need to slow down. Embrace the love we found, for you and I were safe and sound. And we just slow down. For you and I were safe and sound. We were on the run, rocking around the clock. Now all we need is right here in front of us. In front of us. So can we just slow